Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Michael, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video comparing the Xbox One to the Xbox 360. Now, you guys might think this is a little bit late to be doing something like this, but I purposely gave myself time to do this so I could get a feel for each console and just give you guys the best comparison I can bring to you. I've been playing Xbox 360 since probably I was about 9, though, so it's been out for a while. So I mean, I know a lot about the 360 already, but I had to get a feel for the One. So before I really get into it, I just wanted to go over the specs just to give kind of a backdrop to each console, so you guys know what you're going to be working with. Because I know some of you are still considering whether to buy the One or to keep your 360 until they stop making games. So I'll be helping you guys out with that decision. So, anyways, for the Xbox One, the processor is a CPU TBA 8-core. And the Xbox 360 CPU is a 3.2 gigahertz PowerPC tri-core Xenon. They have a 11.1 chip with 32 megabytes of embedded memory for the Xbox One for the GPU, whereas the Xbox 360 has 500 megahertz of ATI Xenos. For the memory, the Xbox One has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that's truly, really helpful. And the Xbox 360 only has 512 megabytes of RAM, which is nothing compared to the 8 gigabytes that the Xbox One has. For the hard drive, the Xbox One has 500 gigabytes of HDD, and the Xbox 360 only has 250 gigabytes, and they're both built in, by the way. As for the communication, they both use Ethernet, and they have the newer Xboxes have built-in Wi-Fi, or the Xbox One for sure has built-in Wi-Fi, but the newer, most recent 360s also have built-in Wi-Fi as compared to the first one and the Elite and all that, which you have to have an adapter for. But as for the controllers and such, they both have really similar controllers, but the Xbox One's is a little bit heavier in my opinion, a little bit bulkier, and it seems a little bit cheaper than the 360s. I honestly like the 360 controller a lot better. It feels nicer in my hands, and the bumpers are easier to hit when you're playing first-person shooters, which is really that's useful. But moving on to Kinect. They're both, to me, generally the same. I found the Xbox One Kinect was a lot clearer in the audio quality, because sometimes I use it to talk when I want to record audio on the One, but I mean, nobody really uses Kinect that much. It is annoying, though, when you're playing online and you'll say something about the Xbox to your friend, be like, oh yeah, this Xbox is so cool, and the Kinect will pick up the word Xbox and it'll bring you to a menu, and that's really annoying. But I guess you gotta work with it. But you can also unplug the Kinect from the One, so I mean, it's not that bad. It's not necessary for it, but it is pretty helpful if you want to turn up the volume or mute the TV or do whatever on there. So, anyways, the price comparison is a good $200 difference. The Xbox One's pricing at about $500 right now, where the 360 is still about $250 or $300, and they're both pretty easy to get at this point, obviously, because they've both been out, or the Xbox One's been out for 3 months, and a lot of people already have it, and there's no rush to get it. And obviously, the 360's been out for like 8 freaking years, so I mean, you could get it whenever you want. But those are the specs for both consoles, and if you have any questions about what one of the specs means, like the gigahertz and all that, I mean, go ahead and comment down below. I'll help you out with that, or you could obviously just look it up on Google. But as for the just the dashboard itself on each console, Xbox One's really simplistic. I mean, when I first got on, I was like, it looked like Windows 8, because it basically is Windows 8, and I really like that. I like how it has apps on the side that you can use, and it's just easier to navigate and get around and do stuff faster. And when you press the dashboard button on the controller for the Xbox One, it'll take you straight back to the home screen, and you'll still be able to play in-game, and you can even watch TV on it too, so that's definitely cool. And for the 360, we all know that comes with the dashboard, where if you go back to dashboard, it'll exit you out of your game and all that, which, I mean, it's useful if you want a dashboard like Call of Duty and you lose your, what's it called, KD or whatever, but I mean, it's still kind of a bitch to do, but I find both of them pretty easy to navigate. But the 360s, you have to go through a lot more stuff to find Netflix per se, or Twitch or whatever, or even search up games. As to where the Xbox One, you can just go under like games and apps, and it's straight right there. Or you can set up an app little icon on the very side. So, needless to say, the Xbox One is a lot more customizable than the 360. If that's anything you could get out of this, but for the games, there's so many more games for the 360 as it's been out forever. But I mean, they're gonna start making games for the 360 soon. So, I mean, I would say if you're going to switch to the Xbox One, give it another year or so, because they're still going to be coming out with games probably for both platforms, but the games on the Xbox One are truly outstanding. The graphics are beyond amazing. Like, BF4, oh god, the graphics are so perfect on it, and then, what is it, Rise, the graphics are great, and the gameplay is really smooth, as opposed to sometimes on the 360 where it's a little bit choppy, and sometimes it's laggy, but I mean, they're both really good consoles, but the Xbox One's just a little bit better because it has that 8 gigabytes of RAM that really helps out with the processing. But I mean, they're both amazing consoles. So I mean, if you are going to get the one, get it about next year or so, unless all your friends have it, because that's another factor. If all your friends are playing on one console, then it makes sense to go to that console. You don't want to be playing by yourself on the, say, the Xbox 360 when all your friends on the one. So I mean, that also has a factor. But if you can't afford it, I totally understand. Just stay on the 360. The games are great. The everything's just typical, and it's easy to navigate to. But one thing about the Xbox One is the party chat's not as good either. It's really confusing, and it's really laggy right now. I mean, when I play online, half the time I can't connect to party chat, and then the other half I can. So Xbox One still has bugs it needs to fix, but other than that, it's an amazing console, and I think they did a really good job with it. But that's pretty much it for the comparison between the One and the 360. I mean, I hope I helped you guys out. And if I did, go ahead and show some support and leave a like rating. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I think I'm currently at 220 subs right now, which is pretty good because, I mean, I've been gaining a lot of subs in the past 3 or 4 days. I think I gained about 30 or 40, which is kind of cool because I didn't really see that coming. But, anyways, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, have a good day.